Donald Trump isn't even officially president yet, and we're already seeing change across the board. We have these two new stories from Mark Zuckerberg. I'm going to play this video on Twitter from disclose.tv, but before I do, please subscribe to the channel so you can get daily news updates, and follow me on Twitter or comment down below any stories you want me to get you up to speed on. But let's go ahead and play this video from Mark Zuckerberg. Let's see. So let's play this here. Let me full screen it.
Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
So really great news from Facebook. I honestly believe that this would not have happened if Elon Musk didn't buy X, or now X, formerly Twitter. There's just been so many things in this country that are better simply because Elon Musk bought X. Regardless of how you feel about his political opinions, he's not always right, but what was right was him buying X and giving people more speech, more ability to speak than we have had in a very long time. And now Mark Zuckerberg himself is even coming around and saying that the fact checking that they've been doing on Facebook needs to end completely. So Facebook is going to get rid of fact checkers in the wake of Donald Trump's election. This is from rawstory.com. So let's go ahead and get into the story. So Facebook's parent company will make changes to its fact checking to more closely resemble the site formerly known as Twitter. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced Tuesday morning that content moderation and other restrictions on speech will be lifted across Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms as Donald Trump returns to the White House, reported by Fox News. We're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms, Zuckerberg said in a video posted Tuesday morning. More specifically, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X starting in the United States, which I think is a fantastic idea. Instead of having these biased people that just comb through everything all day, getting rid of all the things they don't agree with, community notes are just a great way to have people engage with the community and a great way for people to get fact checked. We have X accounts on X specifically for showing community notes that are hilarious, because there's news companies that put out stories all the time and then they get community noted like, hey, that's fake, or they left out this part. It's great. I absolutely love it. Community notes mess up sometimes, but the community comes together and corrects it. So overall, I think it's a great idea, and if Facebook were to implement something like that on their apps, I would love it. I would absolutely love it, instead of the moderation that they have been doing. Now, we do need to keep in mind that this is still Facebook, so Mark Zuckerberg has a lot of redeeming to do in terms of the censorship that he has taken part in. One of the most notable being the Hunter Biden laptop, but at the time Twitter also censored that. The company's third-party fact-checking program was put into place following Trump's first election win to manage content and misinformation on its platform, which executives conceded was the result of political pressure, but they now say that system has gone too far. Definitely, I completely agree. We saw even under Trump's administration, they were lobbying Twitter and Facebook. We don't know how much they lobbied Facebook, but after Elon Musk bought Twitter, they had the Twitter Twitter files released, and there was a lot of information on there showing political figures advocating for Twitter to take down content that they didn't agree with or that they deemed fake. So I can only imagine how much the government has done that to Facebook, because you even heard from Mark Zuckerberg himself, the federal government would come to him and ask him to censor stuff. So he even said that in the video we just played. If you go back and play that, I'll link that in the description down below so you could hear the video yourself. But let's see. So we went to independent third-party fact checkers, said Joel Kaplan, Meta's chief of global affairs officer. That's a mouthful. It has become clear there is too much political bias in what they choose to fact check, because basically they get to fact check whatever they see on the platform, which everyone is biased to some extent. Everyone has their own biases. That's why community notes are great, because it's not just one person making the note. It's everybody coming together and saying like, hey, yeah, that's real. The company is ending that completely, Kaplan said, and it will instead rely on the platform's users to flag false, I've said that backwards, or misleading content. Instead of going to some so-called expert, it instead relies on the community and the people on the platform to provide their own commentary on something that they've read, Kaplan said. So yes, so-called experts, because a lot of the experts nowadays are just downright wrong. These people are bought and paid for, or they're making money spreading the lies that they spread. One of the biggest examples would be the transgender stuff. It's hard to believe doctors nowadays when the doctors will tell you that those surgeries and affirmation surgeries are helping people. They're not helping people. You can't become another sex. You can't become another gender. The way people end up defining gender, even Grok on X, I've been complaining about. Grok on X says that men can become women and women can become men, and it's utterly ridiculous. And when you ask Grok to define gender, it gives the left's definition of gender, which essentially defines personality. If you look at the definition of personality and the definition they give for gender, they're basically interchangeable, my opinion. Even though I believe it's fact, it's still my opinion. If a note is supported by the broadcast cross-section of users, it will be attached to the post for other users to see, so similar to X. We think that's a much better approach rather than relying on so-called experts who bring their own biases into the program. Kaplan said, "We want to make sure that discourse can happen freely on the platform without fear of censorship. We have the power to change the rules and make them more supportive of free expression, and we're not just changing the rules, we're actually changing how we enforce the rules." So it looks like Facebook is just changing their entire algorithm. They're gonna remove the fact checkers. They're gonna start adding community notes. Hopefully they stop censoring people so much. You saw in the video, Mark Zuckerberg said they want to focus less on censoring people and they want to focus more on correcting mistakes they've made. So I definitely look forward to the new start with Facebook, though we do need to keep in mind that it is still Mark Zuckerberg. He's not on the right. He's not a right-leaning person. He is becoming more so over the years, but only time will tell where he actually ends up. We have a new administration coming in that is far from pressuring companies to censor and is more a huge supporter of free expression. It gets us back to the values that Mark founded the company on. The thing is American companies, when other governments around the world that don't have our tradition or our First Amendment, when they see the United States government pressuring U.S. companies to take down content, it is just an open season for those governments to put pressure on their companies. Kaplan said, "We do not think it is a real opportunity to work with the Trump we do think," sorry, I said do not think. I don't know why I said that. Let me restart. "We do think it is a real opportunity to work with the Trump administration and to work on free expression at home." So that is the end of that article. The other story we have at the same time this is coming out, we also have Meta adding 3 new people to the board of Meta, and Dana White is now going to be on the board of Meta. So I see this as a huge win. Dana White is a friend of Trump. He's a Trump supporter. And Meta has appointed 3 new members to its board of directors, including Dana White, the president and CEO of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, or the UFC, as most know it, and a familiar figure in the orbit of incoming President Donald Trump. The social media company, which owns Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, is also adding auto tycoon John Iken and tech investor Charlie Songhurst. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said in a Facebook post late Monday. Tapping White to join the board could be seen as Zuckerberg's latest maneuver to improve ties with Trump, who was once banned from Facebook. He was also banned from X at one point, Twitter. After Trump won re-election in November, Zuckerberg dined at the president-elect's Mar-a-Lago club in Florida, and Meta donated $1 million to Trump's inauguration fund. Other big tech companies, such as Amazon, have donated similar amounts. Trump is a longtime UFC fan and frequent attendee of major fights. His ties with White date back to 2001, when White hosted UFC at the Republicans' former casino hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey, the Trump Taj Mahal. Trump has also appeared with White at UFC matches over the years, especially in his 2024 campaign, as part of efforts to appeal to younger male voters. So then it just kind of goes into their background with Dana White and Mark Zuckerberg, or White and Trump. White has built UFC into one of the most valuable, fastest growing, and most popular sport enterprises in the world, Zuckerberg said. I've admired him as an entrepreneur and his ability to build such a beloved brand. Zuckerberg is also active in mixed martial arts. Zuckerberg and fellow billionaire Elon Musk seemingly agreed to fight in a cage match in 2023, but it never happened. That would have been great. Two billionaires fighting it out instead of the other way around, how the billionaires make all the lower class fight. It would have been good to see the tables turned, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. But a lot of people point to Zuckerberg participating in mixed martial arts as his the reason for him going in a more right-leaning direction, because people that learn how to fight, learn how to handle weapons and stuff like that, they tend to lean more right or end up becoming more right-leaning. So a lot of people point that out in his recent transitioning to a more freedom-loving individual. Icahn, another person joining Meta's board, is the CEO of Exor, a Netherlands-based investment company, and chairman of its two auto companies, Stellantis and Ferrari. Zuckerberg and Icahn has deep experience running large global businesses, and he brings an international perspective to our board. Songhurst previously worked at Microsoft and began advising Meta last year on artificial intelligence. So overall, great stories coming out of Facebook. I am hopeful for the future with Facebook. I see Zuckerberg coming around and becoming a freedom-loving individual, as he should be as an American. So I look forward to seeing a freer Facebook and a freer Instagram. Part of me feels like he is teaming up with Trump because he knows that governments around the world are coming after him. You have the UK especially, who's threatening to start fining large companies like Facebook and X for the post that they have online. So if Zuckerberg has any hope of fighting against that, he's definitely going to need help from the federal government. We have the First Amendment here. People should be able to say whatever they want as long as they are not calling for direct violence. And the other countries need to fucking deal with it, is how I feel. All countries should have the freedom of speech. The UK right now is arresting people for posting online, and all I have to say is fuck the UK, you're garbage, and I'm glad we fought that Revolutionary War. Otherwise, we'd be right there with you. You guys need to be liberated. I'm with Elon Musk on that. You guys are covering up the worst things imaginable on this planet, and you guys need to be liberated. Instead of focusing on what people are posting online, maybe you should be focusing on what people are doing in the streets to your own people. But I'll leave it there. Hopefully my video doesn't get downranked too much. YouTube doesn't like when you cuss in the videos. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel for more, and have a great day. Thank you.